Hi, this is Matthew. Going to do another Rolling Stones album now from 1974. It's Only Rock and Roll we're up to. The last album with Mickey Hopkins. He leaves. I guess there was some disagreement about songwriting credits and things. He felt he should have been on some conflicting reports there. This is his final album. Now the Rolling Stones are producing the albums themselves under the Glimmer Twins name. And I guess sometimes they will bring in outside producers also, but they, I guess, knew enough by this point. They've been doing it for 10 years. They figured they can do it themselves, so that's what they did and made this album. Some things that I think Mick Jagger's house, I think some, and some in Germany and other places. But yeah, the albums are now produced by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards now, so. That will go on that now, which is a pretty good album. Sort of back to basics, some funk, some reggae in there. Pretty cool stuff. In fact, it's Only Rock and Roll. The main track from it was kind of an impromptu kind of jam thing at Mick Jagger's house, and he just brought the backing track in. They added some guitar to it, and that's about all they really did to it. So it's pretty much as it was at his house. So that's kind of interesting. And also Ron Wood will come in after this. Ronnie Wood, whatever you want to call him. He'll be after that in the next album. But yeah, get through some of the tracks here. Some pretty, of course, fairly well-known tracks. And we start with side one, of course. If You Can't Rock Me. Ain't Too Proud to Beg, the Temptations song. That was released as a single only here. And I've definitely heard it on like our classic rock station, The Cave, and other places. So I definitely now I know where that comes from. I always liked their cover. That was pretty good. And then it's Only Rock and Roll, but I like it. It also says inspiration by Ronnie Wood. It says at the end of the title. Yeah, that's the big single that was everywhere. But yeah, good song. And then it was Till the Next Goodbye. And Time Waits for No One. Side 2. Luxury. Dance Little Sister. That I've heard on the radio and stuff also. I think it was the B-side to Ain't Too Proud to Beg, I think. So that would have been out over here. I've definitely heard that on stations. Not a ton, but I have heard it. Yeah, pretty catchy little tune. I like it. Got some nice drums too, and good track. If you really want to be my friend, kind of a long title. And then Short and Curly's, I think that was also one of those Ron Wood jammy house things or something. It was some a little bit earlier time, but they went ahead and did something with it here. And we end with Fingerprint File, which is, that's kind of an interesting song. That is essentially the album, though. Yeah, it's very good. Not quite the same as the others. Of course, we have our personnel with the Stones and some returning faces, as it were. Mick Jagger lead vocals and backing vocals on acoustic guitar and electric guitar. Keith Richards electric guitar and also including slide and backing vocals and acoustic and bass. So yeah, busy Keith. Yeah, he's pretty. Seems to be a pretty multi-instrumental guy. There's a lot of these guys seem to be able to do multiple things. Rick Taylor was on electric guitar and acoustic and backing vocals and synthesizer. So I'm not sure if Ronnie Wood can play synthesizer or not. Well, I guess we'll find out as we go. But the other things would not be out of his realm, I don't believe. And congas and bass guitar. So yeah, he was busy. Yeah, there's some cool congas in here and some other drums, I think. Bill Wyman bass guitar and synthesizer. Well, that's cool. Go Bill Wyman. 2 synth players on this one. Charlie Watts on drums, except for the third track. We'll see who that is in a moment. Additional people we have Nicky Hopkins on piano. But he will, or I'm sorry, not Mickey Hopkins. Mick Taylor will leave. Nicky Hopkins, of course, is still around. Billy Preston on piano and the clavet again from last album. I wish I knew what that sounded like, because I knew what I was looking for. Ian Stewart, our unofficial member, is back on piano, and that's it. Not everywhere, but just like 3 tracks. But he's still running around with the guys. So Ray Cooper will now be featuring a lot. He is used all through to the 80s. So Ray Cooper's first go at being on the albums, and he did some backing vocals too. And a guy named Charlie Jolly on the tablas, which is an Indian drum. I'd forgotten that was in there, but yeah, he's also here. Ed Leach on cowbell on a song there. Oh, the basic track itself. Okay, which I don't think you can hear a cowbell on the finished version, but I've never heard one. I had headphones in too. If it's there, it's hiding very, 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 very nicely somewhere. Kenny Jones on drums, who will be in The Who at different times. He is also on here. I think on track 3 then. So yeah, we're bringing some things together from other videos. Kenny Jones is back. What do you know? He ran in a lot of circles, it looks like. So good for him. Plus, he probably got a little bit of money for doing his drums. So good on you, Kenny. Willie Weeks on bass guitar. David Bowie, yes, that David Bowie on backing vocals. I'm not sure where, but David Bowie was on backing vocals. He was pretty big stuff at this point. Ronnie Wood on 12-string acoustic guitar and backing vocals. So here he comes in. He will be in later albums, but he starts here a little bit. He's on a Thrilling Rock and Roll and maybe another song or two from that little house session they had. Production people, Andy Johns, recording engineer. Keith Harwood, also recording engineer and mixing. George Skyence or something, dubbing engineer. Glenn Johns mixing on just only on fingerprint files, so I guess Adam does the rest of it. Guy Peelert, cover design and painting, is a Belgian painter. I'm sure I'm butchering his name terribly. I'm not sure what nationality he is from Belgium, but he's Belgian. If he's French or what he is, there's a few different languages spoken there, so I'm not quite sure what he speaks. Bob Ludwig on the 94 remastering of it. And yeah, and there weren't any other editions or anything of this album. No bonus tracks, no lives, at least that I can get to. Nothing mentioned in the article either about that. Yeah, really good album. A little different than the other. Didn't do quite as well. It still went platinum here. Went number 1 here. Not so much in the UK, but it still did a good showing over here in the US. So. And that, yeah, on Thrilling Rock, that's played a lot. I know it's played at Stones concerts. Because I've heard Dance Little Sister, I've heard Ain't Too Proud to Beg. I've heard all 3 of those at different times quite often. So it's definitely made a mark over here at least, if not in other places. But didn't do as well in the UK, but did very well here. Went platinum at some point. I don't know. It doesn't say when it went platinum. I'm sure I could look that up somewhere, but I don't need to. But yeah, still a good showing for them as far as I'm concerned. And Ron Wood gets introduced, so he's still with the band to this day. So something went right. 40 years ago now. So I wonder if they marked that occasion with some kind of a party or something. Maybe they did. Hopefully they did. Hopefully they got together and did something. Not sure if they're touring Hackney Diamonds still or not, but they might be. I'm not sure. There was a compilation in 75. I thought there was a live, but I don't find it. There's another one marked at 75, Metamorphosis, but might be in 77, but I'll mention it here just in case. I might come back to it. I'm not going to look up the tracks, but it's a lot of like things they did for other people, kind of outakey B-side stuff, mostly in artificial stereo for the most part, with some later stuff also. I'll leave that for now because I may come back to that when I look at Black and Blue, the next album after this, because it'll follow that, and we'll go into Some Girls. So we'll leave it alone, but we'll go to the for sure compilation album from '75 called Made in the Shade, and it's basically everything from Sticky Fingers all the way through It's Only Rock and Roll, just those first 4 years of the '70s. Plus, it kind of got you prepared for their tour coming up. They took a break for a bit and toured the U.S. later in that year, and that came out around that time. So that is that. And it has the following tracks on it, though. Brown Sugar was first. Tumbling Dice. Happy. Dance Little Sister. Wild Horses. Angie. Good idea, guys. Bitch from there. I still have those horns on that one. It's Only Rock and Roll, But I Like It. Do-Do-Do Heartbreaker. Rip This Joint. Yeah, pretty good tunes there. I think I would have put 8 Too Proud to Beg on, but they wanted to make it 10 tracks for some reason. I would have made it 11th. Sure, there's space. I forget how long that album is, but I think there was a bit of room maybe to have included that, but they didn't. So obviously, yeah, 5 would have ended side 1 and 6 would have started side 2, but it's listed as a CD and not the sides. And I won't go through the personnel because we don't need that. Yeah, so I don't think that's necessary. That's all been covered on other things. It's just going to rehash what we've already talked about. And there's no new tracks either, so I'm not gonna go through that part. There's nothing new here. If you had the first 4 albums, you would already have everything. Maybe if you just like collecting compilations, or maybe you had a friend that didn't have anything yet from that. Who knows? But it must have gotten purchased by someone because it's around still. So yeah, kind of cool. It was a nice little set though of stuff. That's a pretty good overview of the really good stuff from those albums. So yeah, it makes sense to release this collection. So yeah, Made in the Shade it's called. That is streamable. I'll leave Metamorphosis alone. I'll look at it with Black and Blue. I think I'll probably put it there. There's another live album I'll go look at, also from '77, to kind of bridge our gap between '76 and '78 studio album releases. But yeah, good stuff. Yeah, good album. It's Only Rock and Roll. Go check out Made in the Shade. There's no differences in mixes or anything that I can tell. Yeah. But yeah, good stuff. But I think we will do that for now. We'll move on next time to Black and Blue, which also on the 14th of November, it's December 4th of 2025 now, so last month on the 14th, they put out a deluxe edition, or a super deluxe version of that one. So in that, I'll go look at those releases also. I'm not sure if there's any other ones. I know that one for sure. It's listed as a new album, which it's not. So was the Who RU1, but that I overviewed earlier. Yeah, if there's any if those discs are listed, I will go and try to list any B-sides and demos and lives and alternate, extended versions or whatever they might have. I can't remember. There was quite a bit. It was a multi-disc box, if I looked at it right. Before it came out, they had it all kind of out there. I think I looked at a website that showed it, but yeah, there's quite a bit on that, if I remember right. It's pretty good set for that album. I know Fool to Cry's from it. I know that's on there. I don't know if I'll know much else, but we'll get into mid-70s era Stones next time in another video.